Alrighty. Hello, everybody. Okay, so what we're gonna do today, a little different than our normal streams that we're doing. We're gonna do an instructional video, as per request from many of you viewers, on how I create a highlight video for that I place on YouTube of like different Twitch clips and stuff like that. So with that being said, we're gonna get kind of right into it here. So first things first, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get that opened. I actually purchased it through Steam, and it was the Movavi Video Suite 17. They had a sale on Steam, and it was $7, or it was either $7 or $8. It was 90% off. I used a earlier version of this. I want to say I used 13 or 14 previously. But so first things first, you'll go into the video portion here, click on Edit Video. That's going to go ahead and pull up your program. And so here we've got kind of the entire program layout. We're going to do something in full feature mode. Now, before we start, a very important part of getting highlight clip is, having highlights there to clip. So since I'm talking about how to utilize your Twitch stream and get, highlights from that, I'm going to show you the exact process that I do of that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this guy right here. So typically, while I am streaming, actually, let me go back right here. So if you're not using this this little stream markers thing, this is something that some people had asked me quite a bit about, like, hey, I don't always have people in the chat or whatever to make clips of, these really cool gameplay moments, whether they be funny or, just exciting or whatever it is that you're wanting to actually put into your video. Here on the your actual dashboard page, so you see this is actually my dashboard for my stream, dancarnate/dashboard/live. You can see this little timer going on. So let's say right now, something really awesome happened on my stream and I wanted to go ahead and snag that real quick. Like, hey, you know what? I need to grab that, later. Instead of making a mental note, because prior I used to have a little notepad next to me and I would literally write out every single time something happened on stream, like a time stamp, and be like, okay, well, in my stream, about 9 minutes and 24 seconds or so, something happened and I wished I would have highlighted it. So let me go ahead and write that down. I'll go back and look at that through my replays and stuff later. So what I do now is I actually will just click this, and what that does is that adds a marker in the current stream. So when I go back and look at it, it makes it a lot easier for me to find those highlights. So to show that example, if we go here to Video Producer, let's go ahead, and I'm just going to take this one as this was one of the more recent ones. I'm not going to use any from this per se, but I want to go ahead and just show you how that is. So that one's actually a highlight. So we can go here, click on highlight, and you can see here that we've got a couple of these little markers. And so this is actually when I had clicked that button to do a highlight. So I know that probably right before then was something that I wanted to highlight for whatever reason. Now, they may not all be necessarily something that I want or anything, but and a lot of times there's something that was like funny at the time, but then I go back and I look at the highlight and I'm like, that's actually kind of lame. But then what I can do is I can go ahead and click on this, and I know what this one was. I'm not gonna unmute it or anything for it, as I already have part of this here. But since I was okay, so 20, 30, 08.
Nope.
I can go ahead and I can just drag this guy to, let's say, like 20. I don't know. I'll usually do it about 30 seconds before, so I can try to see whatever context. So just trying to figure out whatever it is that we're trying to highlight, whether it was something that happened on the actual stream, something that somebody said, commented to, or whatever the case may be. And then I can go ahead and click down here at start time for video time, and just bam. So that starts the beginning of my highlight already. And then we can go ahead and say when we want to end the highlight. So let's say, based on what we were highlighting or whatever, we can go ahead and hit, here's the end of it. Perfect. And so I can go ahead and click create highlights, and that'll make the highlights so that I can get it later. Now within the video producer, you can also go ahead and let's say, let's say okay, I have some different highlights here. So I'll also show you another thing that I do too. But let's say, okay, so this one, this oops one. Let's say I wanted to use this in my, my highlight video. So the next step is after you go back to your video producer, you'll see the things that you have as highlights and you could have named them whatever. You can go ahead and hit download, give it a second, boom, you're gonna download. Depending on how large your clip is, your internet speed, all that fun stuff could take, a couple seconds, or it could take an extended period of time. I personally have all of my stuff go to my desktop from Chrome, just because it makes things a lot easier for me later. So right here we have that highlight that I just got. Now let's say I want to go ahead and put that highlight in here. Usually what I recommend is keeping a couple of folders. Like I have one here. Usually I'll have one that's like clip reel. That's just a compilation of clips that I've been kind of storing. And once I get, I don't know, a fair amount of them, then I'll go back through and actually go to create a highlight video off of them. In this case, we have these from our recent Mega Man playthrough, and I'm going to go ahead and place these. These are the ones we're going to be working with today. So let me go ahead and delete this guy, as we do not need it. But what I'll do is I'll actually just take all this, so I'll have Movavi up. I usually do everything with 3 monitors, so a lot of times I'll have this on a second monitor and then have Movavi up full screen on the front. But just for the sake of showing how I do this, I'll kind of confine it all to one. This is really the only part that we're going to be doing something like this. So the first thing I do, I just take them all, drag them all into Movavi. So we got 22 clips in Movavi, and once you have them, you can go ahead and close that. So this up here is kind of your preview window, and that's going to be what you're going to do to kind of see what your video is going to look like. But before we even get this far, one thing that you'll probably want to do is some type of an intro. So one thing that I do, I actually created all the music that you're hearing while we're doing this, whether you like it or not, it is me. It's actually music that I've written and recorded. So here is one that I use. I call it intro music. It's a clip from one of the songs I created. So I'll go ahead and I'll slap intro music here at the beginning, because obviously, right, we're doing the beginning. We're doing the intro. So for the intro, I like to keep it pretty basic. It's about a 6-second intro. And I'll go ahead and I'll click this over here, which is the title button. And 9 times out of 10, I use probably this one because I like the blue. So title here, add some text here. Super easy, right? Easiest thing about it is you just take it, drag it to where you want to put it. We want it at the beginning. So bam, it's almost that entire time. I'll usually use this to line it up, make sure. And then we go ahead and we click in what we want to do here. We'll say Dan Carnett. Mega Man marathon highlights. Boom. Super easy, right? So then we can go back here to the beginning, and now I'm actually going to pause the music that we have playing typically. And we can just hit play. Okay, so that's a pretty basic little intro. I mean, you can jazz this up kind of whichever you want. I mean, there's a lot of these different ones, but you can click on all of them and get kind of like a preview. I don't really worry about getting like crazy about it. I mean, it's just a little thing. What's up, B-Dot? How you doing, dude? This one looks kind of snazzy because it's different colors. Always fun to use different colors. People enjoy that types of stuff. So then the next thing that I do is I take every single clip, and this is probably the most time consuming part of this, is actually to go, and I'm gonna pause this music again, is to go through and watch every single clip and find out where you want to have it begin. So here we have this Mega Man clip. Do I want this to start off with my eyes closed, looking like I'm like falling asleep or what? Let's see what happens. So let's click play. All right. Ah! Oh God, Why? So we got, on that clip, we got some falling over stuff. And once again, that's just kind of like a, do I want to have that as a clip? In my head, when I was playing through the game, I had so many instances where I was falling off ladders. I thought it would be like a decent idea to go ahead and combine a ton of those in like a really fast montage of me just getting pissed falling off ladders. So that is something that you can do. Obviously, you know, it's however you want to do your videos. But we'll take like another one here. So this, oh God. Ooh, so we'll use this one. We'll use this one as our first one that we're gonna edit. So I do want to keep it from where it started, and the reason for that is because we're actually gonna do a little bit of I don't want to say a little minor bit of editing and highlighting here. So if we push play right here in a second, right underneath Mega Man's feet is going to be the part that spawns, and I was one hit from death. So we want to highlight how close that was to me actually dying. So I can actually, you know, go back frame by frame and see that I probably should have been dead. So if it starts going, yeah, like, I mean, it's already moving, right? But thanks to the glory of hitboxes, I pretended to be alive. Nah, CC, I'm getting it. I'm seeing it. I acknowledged. I hope you guys are doing well. And so the way that we can do this, so we want to start this clip about here, right? Now what we want to do is, I want to do a zoom in where I'm going to zoom in on this particular thing and then zoom out as it's happening. So the way that I do this is you can actually do this pan and zoom button. Super easy. So we want to add a zoom. So just like with everything else, we can go ahead and we click on the clip that we're working with, and that'll allow us to utilize these. So we want to add a zoom in. So where do we want to zoom in? So the first thing we want to do is get exactly where we want to zoom into. I want to zoom in right here, and let's go ahead and make it a little bit bigger. I don't know, that seems real good, right? And we want to make it so it starts here at the beginning of the clip, and I want it to go until, okay, so I want it to zoom in. Let's see, it's gonna zoom in very quickly. So I want it to zoom in to here. So let's see what that looks like first. So if we were to watch it back, so it's gonna zoom in. And now see, the hard part about something like on this clip is I didn't give myself enough time at the beginning of the clip to do my zoom in and zoom out. So a lot of times if you're going to be highlighting something like this, you want to have a decent amount of time prior so that it's not as violent of a zoom in and zoom out. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in, and then we can see like what frame. And I'm also going to do something else here. So we're actually gonna, this is how we're gonna do this. We're gonna have the zoom in take about that long. So the zoom in will be finished right there. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and right click our clip here. If we click on split, this is gonna put a little line in the video. So what that allows us to do is now we can do other things on this part of the video. So what I want to do is then take to right, let's go like right here when the jump is right about there. And we're going to add another split. Now the reason we're going to do that, we're going to click on this clip in the middle. And on this one, we're going to slow down time. So we're going to make the, this is where we're going to make the, put in a little bit of a slow motion effect. So if we click here on clip properties, we can come up here and we can actually slow it down. So we want to slow it down. Now you'll notice that the clip is getting larger in your video because if you look at your time here, it's taking up more time in your video. So if we go ahead and turn this down just a little bit, and by a little bit, I mean about half. Let's see what this would look like. Obviously we don't have everything set up the way we want it, but Let's see what this looks like for this beginning part. Okay, so I want it even slower. So we're gonna slow this bad boy down to like 20%. Because I really want to exaggerate this craziness. Okay, now at that same time, we're zoomed in, right? We're zoomed in on that. I want to simultaneously zoom out. So the same thing that we did previously. So we click in the clip that we want it to happen, and right about here, I want it to start zooming out. So we're going to go ahead and click on this little magnifying glass, click on our zoom out, and we're going to add that effect. And it'll go pretty quick, but since it's in a slow motion, it's not going to go as quick as the zoom in did. And the only reason, once again, that the zoom in is so violent is because I failed when I made the clip to give myself enough time prior to that point to have the zoom in happen. So now we're going to zoom out and to say, okay, so that doesn't really work all that great, right? Because the zoom out finishes before everything happens. So I'm going to zoom it or make that go even further. And I'm not going to have it start zooming out until a little bit later in that jump. And these are just kind of the things that you'll play around with when you're creating your video. Oh, and God. And then now, remember, we zoomed in on this clip, but we never zoomed out. So we need to zoom out on the portion of this clip. So we're going to go ahead and add another zoom out. And the easy way for this, it would have been better for us to do it previously and not do the splits first and then do the zoom in, zoom out. But since we didn't do that, we're going to go ahead and just have it click back into place. So it's going to look like this. Oh, God. Ooh, that was close. And so there we have a little section where we are, let's just take this whole clip again, and actually let's go back frame by frame, because you can get a slight notice of what clip you're in. And here, this little slider down here at the bottom, you can zoom in here. Yeah, I did it because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my layout at the time. And we're gonna add that other split because I messed it up, and now I want to get rid of this because it's got a little bit of that previous clip, and we're just wanting to have that basically the way it is. So okay, so zoom out, and it should. Oh, I'm not clicked in it. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good enough. So we're going. Oh, God. Okay, so that's currently what our clip is going to look like. Don't worry too much about like what your preview window totally looks like, because when we finally export the video at the end, it's gonna look a little bit different. It's gonna be in a better like frame rate and everything than what we're viewing it in kind of here. However, that is like the source file. So that's the end of that clip. That's what I want to do on that clip. So now the next part, let's see what the next clip has. No! Get back. So I can already tell I don't want this whole clip. So let's just have the clip start here. So we'll add another split. Left click on this, and you can tell what you're highlighted on because of the yellow. Hit delete. And we just deleted out a bunch of stuff not happening. Yeah, dude, BDOT, if you want, I can send the link to it, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this whole stream on as a YouTube video, and I'll send you, I can post the link to the Discord, and then you can just check it out from there. So as I'm gonna go over how to create the clips, how to create the highlight video, and then how to upload it to YouTube and everything. So yeah, no worries, dude. Okay, so now let's see what that clip looks like. Yeah. Oh shit! Wait, no, hit me again. Yeah. Okay, hold on. We're gonna live. Maybe. We might die from just getting hit by enemies. Fuck! Okay, we're alive. So bam. So I like where that clip started from, and I don't even need to necessarily do any like highlighting in or pointing out anything or anything special like that. I kind of just like it the way it is. So if that's the case, we're gonna move on. I'll usually watch a clip about 2 to 3 times to see if I really want it like that. Me again. Yeah. Okay. And so this seems to be fine. We're gonna live. Maybe. We might die from just getting hit by enemies. We're alive. I want to show that I actually made it to health, because 9 times out of 10 it always looks like the only things I highlight are fails, but that was a pretty cool success, I think. So let's go ahead and we'll add a split there. I don't need this other couple of seconds. We'll delete that out. So let's see what the next clip is. And this is pretty much what you're gonna do for your whole video, is just gonna be going through your clips first, because you want to make sure that you've got all the clips there that you want to use. Like honestly, looking at that first clip, I'm not going to keep it anymore. I'm just going to go ahead and delete that out now, because I don't want to use it. So I like to have the slider here kind of zoomed in as well. So, but okay, let's see what this clip has. Oh, damn it. Come on. What is that about? I call bullshit. So, as you may or may not be able to tell, I may or may not have a thing with swearing. I like to keep that in my videos because it shows off my emotions at the time. So I'm going to go ahead and add a split. And the way I could tell where I wanted to add the split is I look at the audio track. So a lot of times when I'm doing any type of video editing or anything like that, I look at the audio track more often than not, because seeing these huge spikes tells me that something happened there. Like either it was me being louder on the mic, the game being louder, or something happened there. And it's usually a reaction from me. So like if you look down here, and I'll zoom in on it so you can actually see it a little bit better. You'll see at these different peaks on the audio track is probably when I'm talking about something. Oh, damn it! Come on! What is that about? I call bullshit. So now I can just look at that and know where I want to do it. That's where the quote unquote highlight portion is for me. But I like to give a little bit of a build-in, because when you're creating a highlight video, you don't want to just go in some cases it's pretty funny and it can be very thematically good to have action, and which would be like these peaks over and over and over again. But you want to give a little bit of a build-up so that people can tell what was happening prior to whatever you wanted to highlight. So in this case, you could see that I'm in a water level, charging up. I have full health, so I should be good. And I'm waiting on a pattern, and I just jump over this thing, and the next thing you know, I'm dead. Oh, damn it! Come on. I want that little bit of a space time there. For me, it's kind of like a general rule. Like I usually only want anywhere between 3 to 5 seconds max of a time prior to when I am the highlight is going to happen, because you're only going to be interested in it for that much time, right? So I'm going to zoom this out again just a little bit. This was part of that clip that we're not keeping, so we're going to go ahead and delete that guy out. and we move on to the next one. So we can see that there, it looks like here, just looking at the audio track without even watching the clip, it looks like a whole bunch of nothing happens and then a lot of something. So let's see how that actually plays out. No. Just go before it all appears. That's okay. Let me make this work. Or can we? We're gonna make it work. No! A what? Oh, that's even better. Okay, so what I'll do, like in this instance, what I'll do as the build-up, I don't need this screen, right? So what I'll do is I'll just kind of manually move this forward, and we'll start it right here when I call the dog down. And we'll do our split, take away that beginning part because we don't need it. And remember, this is something that always got me. Remember, you can always hit Control-Z to undo if you accidentally delete something that you didn't mean to, or you move something that you didn't want to, or whatever the case may be. You can always hit Control-Z to undo it. There's also the undo and redo buttons right here. So if you want to redo deleting that, you can. Just a good tip of, you know, something to be aware of. And also the best analogy I can give with creating a video like this is it's much, think of it like you're copy and pasting words in a Word document that you're trying to build your sentence with. You're not actually typing, you're just moving the words around to make a sentence. It makes it really easy when you start to think of it that way, because then it flows from one word to the next to make something that makes sense. So in this case, that's what I want to do. Just go before it all appears. Also, I personally don't like to do a ton of like the zoom ins and any of the other action stuff, because we can do, so there's like some animation type stuff and some other stuff, like we can put in arrows to point at things and some other stuff that we can add into our video, but I typically don't like to do too much of that, because the highlight for me is just the way that the game goes, right? So let's see where I want to end this highlight. No, a what? So that's a perfect time. It's the end of my laugh. So I'll click on that part of the video, and notice that if you click on the audio, you don't get the option to do your split, because right now the audio is attached to the video because it is all one file. Now you can actually detach it. So if I right click here, I can actually click on detach audio if I wanted to, and then I can take this audio clip and I can move it wherever I want. And then it's basically taking a file and separating the video and audio from it and allowing you to do some other clever editing things, which is not something that we need to do in this instance. So I'm gonna just go ahead and put that back. However, right at the end of my laugh is where I want to end this clip. So we'll go ahead, add our split there, click on this guy, that one's gone. And then so we're gonna go to our next one. Ah, damn it, I hit the wrong button. So I find that funny because I actually killed him and I died as well, so I don't know. I personally find that humorous. Ah, damn it, I hit the wrong button. So I'll just keep that one. And honestly, when I created it in the Twitch highlighter, I did the perfect length of what I wanted. I don't need to touch that one. And so we go on to the next one. That's how simple they can be. So there's several steps to this, obviously, you know, and we went over how to create the Twitch, the highlight, you know, using the video producer and going in and taking our clip length and everything. But when you create your highlight, you know, that's where you, depending on how you create said highlight and how much time, you save yourself some time a little bit later by doing that. So this clip here, which is later on in this montage here is 11 seconds long, and that was because that's exactly how long I wanted that clip to be. If you take the time to do it in the Twitch highlighter, it saves you time later. However, that can come to bite you on clips like that first one we have, where I didn't have enough time at the beginning. So you want to be kind of cognizant of that. You may want to, I mean, honestly, it's better to make your clips longer than they need to be in Twitch, and then when you're making your highlight video, that's when you can make them a little bit shorter. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. Weakness from the other. All right. So I jumped into the first ball thing that came down. That's okay, but not really worth highlighting. Like I said, some of them I highlight and decide later that I don't necessarily want them in the clip video. The way that I look at it is if it makes you laugh, or if that's what you're going for is laughs, and the second, third time you watch it, it's probably good enough to be in your clip video. If it doesn't really elicit any type of response, then ditch it. Same kind of thing with like if you're making your video and you want to make it for maybe great gameplay or something, that's another thing you look at is be like, oh man, that was so awesome. That's usually how I can tell whether or not I want it in there. Let me get low enough so I can shoot him. Fuck off! Jesus Christ! So this one's a little long. But I know what happens. And you can see something's coming up. Suck it! Clutch. So I'm happy with that because it has it builds the tension in the middle, knowing that I'm one hit away from death. Now this is me putting clips into the wrong folder, but I noticed a random one started, and we've got a Final Fantasy clip, which not gonna be in this video, but will be in a future highlight video. This one's just Mega Man, so we'll go ahead and delete that out of there. Dude, I'm getting life drops out the ass. I feel pretty well equipped right now. Oh shit. Not a good spot. Alright, we're going to jet mode. Oh god. God, it's so good! Okay, so I like that one. Just kind of shows off, being able to avoid some stuff. But I don't necessarily need all that beforehand. So we kind of want to... I'll probably start it right here before I take that hit. So we'll go ahead and add another split. Take the one before it. Delete. I liked the rest of it. I don't even need to watch it again. And we'll go to the next one. Oh, what else did I hop on? So that was an interesting skip. Let's see if that was in the original video. So it wasn't. So that's an example of the video previewer showing a little bit different. If you go back just a couple seconds, you'll see that when we watched that video clip that first time, it skipped probably a good amount of frames. But when we went back and watched it, it did them just fine. So that's kind of something that you want to watch out for too. So you do want to watch this video preview pretty closely. It's not always 100% accurate of what would actually be exported when you finish your video though. Hop on. Oh well. You're just gonna use this. Oh god. So I can already tell I don't want this whole clip. Oh shit. Oh my god. All right, let's zoom in. How close was I to dying there? Pretty close. Okay, so I'll do another zoom in here. And so what that means is I'll go ahead and I'll take right here. We're going to go ahead and add a split because this is the beginning of where I want that zoom in to happen. And then right here is where I want it to be over. So we'll go ahead and add another split here. Now, I don't need all of this, but I do want to start it on this jumping section. So we'll go ahead and we'll back it up just a little bit. Right here looks good. Split, take this one, delete. And once you start like moving around these different, once you start adding clips and you start moving through and working with the program and stuff, you'll be a lot faster at doing this. So it takes a little bit to get kind of your feet wet, but once you get there, it's a really simple program. Oh my God. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna zoom in because I need that clip to be big so I can set the zoom in and zoom out where I want it. So we're gonna go ahead and once again we're gonna add a zoom in. So add zoom in, and we want it to zoom in. It's gonna eventually. Oh, I did that to the end. All right, let's zoom out this a little bit. I need this to not be there because I need to see in the clip where I want to go. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna have the zoom in go to that point right there. And we want to change what that is set on. So that is exactly how we want it. Then I want to add a zoom out that zooms out to the whole page, just like that. So now let's go ahead and see if the camera does what it should. Okay, so that's exactly what I wanted to do, but as you can see, it was pretty quick. So once again, we're going to click on Clip Properties, and we're going to slow it down. And by slowing it down, it's going to allow us to have a more less violent zoom. Oh my God. So another thing we're gonna do is this on the audio track, because you notice how loud it got right here at the end. Oh my. We're gonna go ahead and take that and we're gonna bring that down just a little bit because we don't want as many peaks in our audio. So if you look at your audio track, and if your like audio track is like banging, it's like up here at the top the whole time, that's your volume, and you may want to bring that down just a little bit so that when people are watching your video, it's not as aggressive in their ears. Oh my God. that was really close. Okay, I like the way that clip worked out. I like where I ended it. Ended with me kind of the giggle, and that's really close. Perfect. So let's see the next one. I'm adding. You know what we're gonna do here? We're gonna take away the risk. No! Stupid fucking dog. Perfect. I'm happy with it. You can tell exactly what happened in the clip. I don't need to do any type of editing, so that makes it easy. Remember, the Twitch processing part of selecting what you're going to be editing it saves you so much trouble and so much time in the future. So we can't die. So what I want to do here is I want to find the moment that basically we say, so we can't die. So we can't die. So right there. So right as we hit that, so what I'm looking at is I'm looking at my head because I put my head down. And people just like to laugh at people that fail. It's just a thing that humans like to do. So this is where we're going to add a good old zoom in again. Zoom in, I mean, mind you, I wouldn't recommend probably doing it all crazy amounts of time all the time, but it can add a good effect. So we're just going to go ahead and zoom in on the failure. The failure being me. So let's go ahead and see what this clip looks like now. So we can't die. Okay, it's perfect. And we're gonna be doing some transitions at the end. So I don't care so much what it looks like at the end. I just want to make sure I have the right length of video. So let's check out this next one. The fuck? This game, however many mega metal dicks there are, this game can eat them all. I'll keep it like that just because I like the banter. Some people like that. You may or may not, but that's up to you. When you make your highlight video, you can choose what's in it. What I can do this. I'm a genius, dude. Ah! Oh my god. Oh man, the fact that the spikes. Okay. You can't. So we're gonna do a little something here. So what I like about this clip, this is an example of something that I like to do. So what I'll do here is take this and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna insert a freeze frame. And it's all it is this frame that we're at is currently being frozen. So what I'm then gonna do is, so we're gonna listen to it and find out where I want to place this. Ah! Oh my god. Oh man, the fact that the spikes. So I was looking for the word spikes is what I was listening for. So it's just right after this. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do a split here. The spikes. Okay. And now, remember when I had talked about detaching audio? This is going to be an instance where we're going to do it. We're going to go ahead and detach the audio. What that allows us to do is take this freeze frame and move it into this spot, and we can take that audio that was attached to that video, and we're gonna actually take away that portion of the video, and we're gonna use this audio of us talking about the spikes, but with the freeze frame from when the spikes weren't loaded. Now on top of this, I'm going to go ahead and let's add a call out. Which is adding some type of, like arrow or something else. We're going to do a little circle here perfect, a little animated oval. So we're going to take this, we're going to slap this right with our freeze frame. Now you'll notice that it popped into this spot here. We don't want it there, right? Like who wants to watch a video that just does this? Oh man, the fact that the spikes. So that looks pretty dumb. So we're gonna go ahead and take this and we're gonna drag it up here, and you'll notice all the way on the left there's this little T. This is the titles track. These are where you can attach different things to your video that aren't a video or an audio file. In this case, it's going to be a call out. So now we want to go ahead and change where that is. So we double click it, and now we can go ahead and move it. I'm gonna go ahead and put it right there. And let's see how that looks now. So let's go back. What I can do this. Okay, so what I also want to do is, that's a little long, so I'm gonna go ahead and, just as always, we're trimming the fat of it. So we're gonna go ahead and take out that little part. Let's go ahead and listen what we got. I'm a genius, dude. Okay, so now we need to watch it again because we just got that frame skip thing from the video producer. Ah! Oh my god. Oh man, the fact that the spikes. Perfect. Can highlight that. It shows what we were trying to highlight there. So let's go ahead and let's go to the next one. You can take the damage. Oh man, I remember this one. Ah, shit. God, what the fuck, game? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add in an audio clip in addition to this. Let me see if I've got the clip that I want to put in here. Let's minimize this. Don't need we don't need Rick and Morty right now.
Hey, what time is it?
No. No.
Another one.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fought.
Oh no, it is not the whole thing?
It was at this moment that he knew. He
Ah, it's not the whole thing. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I want to get the nope soundbite. Nope. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to a site that I use to do this. So there's a site, it's myinstance.com. It's something that I use a lot of times to get like little clips. Mind you, a lot of these are like really terrible stuff, like sounds that say one thing but there's something else, but that's exactly what I want. So we're gonna click on that nope. We're gonna download the MP3. Bam, we got it. And we're gonna listen, make sure it's that. Perfect. We're gonna go ahead then. What I'll do is I will rename it to nope. Slap that there. Take that same audio clip. And we're gonna just slap it in there for now. But now let's go back and find out in the clip where we want to put it, because this is just a random. So right, we want to go right before we die, which is right here. Right when that appears, we want that. So we're gonna then, let's zoom in so we can grab the middle of this, and we want to move it to, and this is a lot of times where I'll look at the timestamp. So 4:15:85, and see if I can get that. There's probably an easier way to do this part. That's probably pretty good. So let's see what that looks like.
Nope.
Okay, so it's a little bit before. I'll just bring it up a little bit.
Nope.
And so that I like it.
Nope.
God, what the fuck? Game. Perfect. So that's real simple. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this up, and we just added a little funny text to our little funny sound clip into what we're doing. So next, let's check out this next clip. Just out of this shit. Oh my god. I need you. Fuck that dog. Okay. Well, I like the where it begins because it shows, you know, what we're trying to go through, and then ends there. So perfect. So we just cut off that little split ending, and we're good to go. Ah! I gotta get over there to that health. Oh, come the fuck on! Are you kidding me right now? What? Okay, so here we're gonna do another little edit here, because I want to show that portion of the video again where I'm trying to get the health in slow motion, but with the same audio from what the original clip has. So the way we're gonna do that is right here. Let's go right here. We're gonna go ahead and put a split in, because that's the way that we do pretty much everything. Let's go until oh my god, it's literally that close. Okay, and so we're going to go ahead and put in a split here. Now here's the awesome thing. So we're going to click here. You'll notice that we have the video and the audio here, but we're going to go ahead and Control C. So we're going to go ahead and copy this little clip. Then after I die, let's see. Fuck this game! What? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and you already see that there. And actually we'll do it synchronized with that audio at the end. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a split. And I want it right where this is happening so you can see it. So split. And this is where we're going to detach the audio again. So detached audio. Then we can go ahead and take this video clip, delete it out. Oh wait. See, that's where I always get messed up. So we want to go ahead and Control V. So we're going to paste that clip that we made. So that's the same clip as this one, as you can see. Now we're going to go ahead and detach this audio, and we're going to delete this audio, and we're going to drag this audio back. So you'll notice that it snaps into place here. What that does is that makes it so that this clip here, if you just listen to the audio, it never changes. But what we're doing is we're now getting rid of this video portion because we don't need it anymore. And so we have the audio from this original clip, in the original sequence it's in, but we took a copy of this little portion of the video and we're slapping that here at the end. And what I'm gonna do for effect, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do our clip properties again, and we're gonna slow this down because we want this to be, you know, a little bit longer, right? Now what I'll also do is you'll notice that it kind of snapped there pretty easily, like to 41% randomly, right? It wasn't a like, okay, I can control that it goes to 41. The reason it snapped like that to that point is because that's the end of our audio clip. So the program actually helps you out to get things synced up. So in this case, our video and our audio are synced up on this clip here. And so now we can go ahead and let's just check out what this whole clip looks like now. Ah! I gotta get over there to that health. Oh, come the fuck on! Are you kidding me right now? What? Fuck this game. So, and then once again, I am going to want to do a zoom in here because this is another great opportunity to highlight the zoom in while it's moving. It's kind of so two things that work out really well together when you're doing like these different types of videos and stuff like that is working with time and working with the eye. So what we're doing here is we're adding a slow motion effect and then we're zooming in at the same time. So what that's gonna do is that draws the person's attention to wherever you want it to be. So, I mean, it seems pretty obvious, and yes, it pretty much is, but we want to have it right here because this is where everything happens. And you know what? We want a little bit more of real estate on this one. Okay, so now this is the way that portion looks. Fuck this game! So, boom. We have our little clip. Now let's go ahead and check out this next one. The fuck? Like, really? All right, so basically, I want to keep that clip as is because the whole point of the clip was having to wait thinking that it was going to go down at any point in time, and literally the moment that we go is when it decides to go. The fuck? Like, really? Okay. What is this? Okay, so another instance of accidentally clipping in a wrong video. Real easy, clip the whole thing, delete. And again, click the whole thing, delete. Okay. And let's see what this one is. I know what this one is. Like, really? Oh! Hold on. Okay. Mistakes were made. Okay. So I pretty much like that one the way it is. So now looking at it, you know, we have roughly about 5.5 minutes worth of a video. That seems like plenty for now. There was more clips, but depending on whether or not you want to put them all, you know, what you want to do with it, you totally can. So let's go into our sound bites. I have outro music. So we're going to go ahead and place that guy down there. So we have the music that I want to end the video with. And here's another thing that you can do. So under the text, we can do our credits, or however you want to call them. In this case, what I'll do is I a lot of times just do simple text, just something like that. But what I'm going to do, instead of going through that process, I'm going to show you something that once you've created one, because what you can do is you can take this, or I'll just show you real quick. You slap one text on there, and we actually want it because it's okay. So we have like one text there, and let's say we'll do like another. We'll take this one and slap that here. First text. And we click here, adjust for second text. And we can make it so that I want to see more of this down here so I can see my audio clip, so we can see the length of this. So let's say this is the first text, right? So I want to go ahead and make that the length of the whole audio clip. And then maybe the second text I want to appear a little bit later, so I can go ahead and move that kind of, I want to detach. Let's see. And so this one, it should let me detach it. Oh, we clipped them both to it when I first did it. So this one's the second text. So we'll delete that guy out. Let's throw the text in. It should let me, like I said, I never claimed to be an expert at this thing, but this is always the stuff that like, so it's the little stuff like this that always like gets me to. Okay, so it keeps snapping back to that. I can't remember how necessarily I did that, but what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take one from a different one I did. But basically, you just layer your text on there. I'm actually gonna delete the outro music as well, because once you've created a video, you can actually do, like, let's see here. So I got my intermission video, which is what I use on my stream. I can slap that here because I've already done this editing. So we're gonna go to the end of this video. Okay. Okay, actually, we won't do it that way. We'll do it like the way we were gonna do it. It'll turn out better, and you'll get to see me work on ending it or whatever. Anyways, so okay, so let me get some music playing here while we're doing this. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a like thanks for watching type thing. So I want it to look, I don't know. What's it? We want to do it like this maybe. That's what it is. Okay, I remember now. There is insert black screen. I have to remember where it is. Because we're still not done yet. We still have our what am I trying to say? Our transitions, sorry. So let's delete these real quick. So we're gonna make this real simple. Do it like this, and let's see just what that looks like. And let's stop this because this is actually part of the the outro music that I use. Okay, that works for that. Let's see, I forgot how to add a. So we want a freeze frame essentially, but we want a black image. So since I don't remember how, because I don't remember everything about the program, what we are going to do is we're going to cheat. Because when you don't know, cheat. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm just going to go ahead and create a black image here in Paint. Save as black image. Slapped on my desktop. Close it. Take my black image. Put it right there. And we're going to go ahead and stretch that out, because I don't remember how to actually do that in the program. So now we got a black image. But what that allows us to do, because we have an image there, we can add the text anywhere in there we want. So now we're going to go ahead and add another text spot, and we're going to go ahead and add it like right in the middle. So this one is going to be out to the end. And then we're going to go ahead and add this second one in the middle. We're going to move this. Let's go right here. Okay. Now we're going to stretch this out, and we actually don't need this being all crazy big anymore. So we can go ahead and bring that down some. I want this all to be on 1. So we can go ahead and double click it. We click up here on the text thing. We change our text size. Perfect. So we're just basically calling out that we want people to, well, okay, we click on the wrong thing. And where I got this. And we're gonna go ahead and move it right there. Looks good, right? So let's see what our outro looks like. Okay, so we're gonna do a transition effect on this. So transitions, you can click here, transition wizard. So this is one that I use a lot. It can make things really easy depending on how many cuts you have in your thing. And I'll show you the dangerous part of using the transition wizard, because what this does is this adds a transition to every single clip that you have in your video. And since we have a lot of clips where we have like, it's the same clip, but we have, you know, like a freeze frame or something else in it. If you use this transition wizard, it's going to look weird on stuff. I personally don't like all kinds of crazy transitions, but you can add a lot of different ones. So another way to do it is if you click up here on this transition, if you want to add them individually to each clip. So like, let's go to our first stuff here. Okay, so what a lot of times what I'll do is, you know, we have this where it's moving, and because we did the little title cards, that already has an animation, and we don't have to touch it with the transition because it already looks fine. But now, if let's just for the sake of argument, see what happens when we do a transition wizard. Let's say use random transitions. Cool, let's do that. It's gonna take a second. You're gonna notice if you look at your clips, you're gonna have these little dealies, right? And what that did is that added a random transition to the end of every single clip that we have here. Now, you'll soon see why that's a bad thing. So let's watch it from the beginning. And you'll notice it right away. Oh, God. So since that first clip, we had several different splits in it. It added that transition to each of them. So that's what you got to be careful about if you're using the transition wizard. you'll want to go back through and delete some of these. So like you click on the actual transition and then click delete. So now if we watch that beginning of that, we won't have that those crazy transitions. So now it's normal, and then we'll have a transition at the end. Oh God. Which will happen right now. That was close. Yeah. And so Transition Wizard's cool because it just does all that work for you. I personally don't like a lot of the crazy animated ones. But you can use them to your heart's content. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of all of them. Oh, whoops. And redo. I went back one too far. Okay. So now, instead of doing the transition wizard, and you can do, so it used random transitions. What I a lot of times will do is I will do a fade to black, and you can do this for the transition style in all clips, but you're gonna want to go through and rewatch your whole video. So I'll do a fade to black. Once again, we already know that these are gonna be ones that we want to get rid of, so we can go ahead and we can click on them, hit delete, or we can right click and then go to remove transition. And so remember, on any portion where it was a clip that we added a split in the middle of it, we want to click and get rid of that transition. Because once again, if we're watching our clip... So that one's fine. That one's going to be fine. I think it's this one? Yeah, this was... So here's another example of where adding them to all clips is a bad thing. So we don't even know what's happening. We're constantly fading to black. Oh my God. So we want to go ahead and get rid of, and this is where it helps to zoom in a little bit. But we can get rid of our transitions we don't need. So remove transition, and then that one is to the next clip. So let's see what that looks like now. And also, before I forget, using the transition wizard is cool because you'll notice, and I'm gonna zoom in way far here so you can see. This is the transition. You'll notice that your transition is partially in the previous clip and partially in the next clip. What that does is it actually is doing two transitions at the same time. Or not the same time, but not simultaneously, because that's literally at the same time, consecutively. So what it does is, and I can scroll it here with the bar, but it's doing a fade out right here, as you can see there on the preview. But as soon as the next clip starts, it's actually doing a fade in for us. So that transition does both, the transition ends the previous clip and starts the next one, making it a lot easier to do everything. If you're doing it manually and you're adding in your transitions manually, so let me go ahead and delete this transition, and let's say I wanted to add a fade to black. So I can take it and I place it there, and it'll put it there, but we can actually adjust it if we want it to be a longer transition or a shorter transition by going to transition properties. And this is where you can actually change the length. And on some transitions, I'll actually cancel that now. But on some transitions, it'll actually... Sorry, needed to put that... on some transitions, it'll only start on one of them, and it won't really impact the other one. So it'll basically be what's called a jump cut, which is where you go from one scene directly to the other without any type of transition. So like if you're watching this video right now, and you know, an example of like what a jump cut would be is like, boom, we're just right here, and now I'm talking to you, and we're not even doing anything else, but you know what, hey, we're right back in the editing that we were doing. So that's that can sometimes be something you want to watch out for when using transitions. Also, you and mind you, it's always personal preference on a lot of these things, but I don't like it to be too busy, and I like to keep the transitions consistent, which fade to black is real classy, clean. Can't, you know, You can't go wrong with it. So close. I'm adding, you know what we're gonna do here? We're gonna take away the risk. No! Stupid fucking dog. So, here's another thing you want to watch out for. So when you're doing your transitions, if you remember when we were just editing this clip, as we fall down, I zoom in the camera on my face at the end of the clip, which will be during our transition. And sometimes it'll work out really well. So that was that. So that one is an example of where it worked out. It worked out good, right? The zoom in worked, and then sup Silver, thanks dude. So the zoom in worked, and you got to see it, and then the fade to black happened. So if you're creating a clip, and say you zoom in, like it literally at the end of the clip is when you get to where you're wanting that zoom in to be, you'll miss like most of it because your fade to black is already going to be happening. So you just want to be cognizant of that. This game can eat them all. So here's another example. So we don't need that transition. So remove transition. I highly recommend that as you are editing everything you're doing, that you go back through and watch your video multiple times. Oh man, the fact that the spikes. So I kind of like that transition there. I'll keep that one, even though it's an extra transition on the same clip. It kind of works. You can take the damage. Ah, shit.
Nope.
Okay, so our audio clip is way off, right? So this is why we rewatch it. So we want to move that into the spot again.
Nope.
So is that good? I think it is.
Nope.
God, what the fuck, game? Okay. Just out of this shit. And so,
My God.
if you've already been watching these and you've already been editing your audio and stuff, you don't need to watch every click. You can just literally just click to the end. Just make sure the transition works. Ah! I gotta get over there. So see, here's an example of where that transition doesn't work, because remember we put in this clip or this split to duplicate it for that later portion. So we want to go ahead and remove these transitions, because literally there's nothing that happens in the video in this split. We did that only so that we could use that video portion later. Up the fuck on! Are you kidding me right now? What? Fuck this game. Okay, so that works. Yeah. We actually I don't think we need this transition, so let's remove it and see if it works out good, because I kind of like the jump cut. Fuck this game! Nothing extraordinary. Like, really? Nothing overly exciting about any of these. Oh! Hold on. Okay. Mistakes were made. Okay, and so we don't have our other text box. So we want to go ahead and get to the end. We need to add our other text box, because at some point I probably just clicked undo and redo. So let's put it here. Once again, I want it down here at the bottom. And you can change these obviously to whatever, if you like a certain type of font. I'm just keeping it there just because. Catch. Oh, whoops. I guess it helps if I'm actually in the text box. Double click. Catch me live at twitch.tv/Dan Carnett. And we're going to go ahead and make this bigger. And kind of a cheating way that I use to keep it centered. You can center it by clicking on here, and I know it's easy, right? I just make the bar the size of the screen. I know it's dumb, but it's just something that I do. So let's go ahead, and I want to make this bigger again because I want to make sure that my stuff equals out to this. So let's see what this looks like. Mistakes were made. And so I want to go ahead and I want to animate this. Oh wait, no. I want to go ahead and I don't want the simple text. I think I want, yeah, fading text. That's what I want. Yeah, see, I was doing the wrong text. So what I am going to do, though, so I'm going to go ahead and click in here, Control-C, before I come up here, grab my fading text, slap it on the same spot, move it down, Control-V, and we're going to go ahead and make this our 72. Swoop. Swoop. That one I accidentally clicked that, so that's why it didn't work. Now we're going to delete that other text because I don't want just the text to just appear. I want it to fade in because it looks cooler that way, looks cleaner, make it the same length, and what it's going to do is it's going to fade out too. So let's see. Boom. Love it. Perfect. I love it. All right. So our video looks like it's gonna work, right? We got everything there. We want to go back through and watch the whole thing one more time. And I know by the time you finish doing this, because you never know if you're gonna like everything in your video. Like I said, you're gonna want to watch your video multiple times. Oh God. Ooh, whew. That was close. So we're really just making sure transitions are working at this point. Yeah. And our audio's good, video's good. Oh shit! Wait! No! Hit me again! Yeah. Okay, hold on. We're gonna live! Maybe. We might die from just getting hit by enemies. Fuck! Okay, we're alive. And a lot of times watching your video over, you may get an idea of something you want to change or something you want to highlight. Oh, damn it. Come on. What is that about? I call bullshit. No. Just go before it all appears. That's okay. Let me make this work. Or can we? We're gonna make it work. No! A what? Ah, damn it. I hit the wrong button. Need him to get low enough so I can shoot him. Fuck off! Jesus Christ! Suck it! Clutch. Oh shit. Not a good spot. Alright, we're going to jet mode. Oh god. God, it's so good! Okay, and so we watched the rest of this, so we know we're good there. So now, next step is exporting our video so that we can go ahead and actually make it into a video. So you're gonna come down here and click this export button. Now there are a couple different ways that you can do this. So what I tend to do it two different ways, depending on how I'm feeling at the time. So you can, hey Tokanita, how are you doing tonight? So what you can do is you can actually come in here, and when you're exporting your video, you can either export just the file, or in Movavi, you have this little share button. And if you link your YouTube account, which mine is linked, you can actually create the video and upload it all in one button. So it'll be upload. So when you hit upload, it's actually going to create it and send it to YouTube. Now, yes, it does, Tokenita. That's actually why one of the reasons that I used it is because it processes extremely quick with NVIDIA cards. Or the rendering process, actually. So what I'm going to do in this case is we're actually going to save it locally. So we're just going to call this Mega Man Marathon Highlights. And then here you can actually adjust your quality if you want it to be, basically it adjusts your bit rate and your frames per second. You can actually go in and further customize it within the export option up here. Quite honestly, I typically just use good because it's good enough. I made sure that the resolution 1920 by 1080, but you can come in here and adjust your frame rates and everything. So if we want to go ahead and make sure that it was 60 frames per second, we could do so. And then we can adjust, our audio bit rate and everything as well, which basically is just going to make it sound as authentic as the source was. So we'll hit OK, and we hit start. You want to save it to wherever. In this case, we're going to save it to our desktop because it's easiest. So we'll click on start. Give this a no, absolutely. I'll show you where to make that adjustment. It's really simple. Actually, it's in the so what you're asking. So for everybody watching, the user is asking, a viewer is asking what if you can change the encoding to be from the NVEC, which is the NVIDIA encoding, as opposed to utilizing the processor to do set encoding, and it's actually adjusted here in the settings for your export settings, and you can make it where it utilizes. So if you have a higher end graphics card, like a higher end NVIDIA card, you can actually make it where it does NVEC encoding, and it goes much quicker. So that's something I highly would recommend if you do have that kind of card. I personally have a GTX 1080, so this process goes quicker for me. Previously, on my previous computer, when I was first doing my rendering and encoding with Movavi, I had a 560 Ti. Okay, so it works from a GTX 1050 and above. There you go. I had a 560 Ti, so I couldn't do that. I couldn't utilize that encoding option, so I had to do it on my processor. And at the time, I had a 2600K i7 processor, which nowadays is a little bit older. Now I have a 7700K processor, so it's going to go it goes a lot faster whether I utilize the processor or the video. I mean, hence why I'm sitting here talking to you right now. We're streaming. I'm running 3 monitors. I have tons of programs open, and we're creating a video here in roughly about 2 minutes. So that's pretty good to be able to do that. I do recommend that if your computer is let's say a little bit older, or a little bit older parts, or whatever the case may be, to when you're doing your encoding, you want to minimize everything else that you're doing. So we created our video, but yeah. So here in settings, it's under preferences, I believe. So yeah, so under the acceleration, here's your enable and NVEC hardware acceleration. So really awesome, makes it go a lot quicker. Okay, so now the next step is let's get our video on the internet. So what we're gonna do is go to our dashboard in YouTube, and I'll show you guys something else that I actually do a lot on my YouTube stuff here. So we can go into our video manager, and the reason I'm going into video manager is to see. So what I like to do is have videos scheduled out, so I don't necessarily have to worry about doing them every day. So what we can do is we click up here, go to upload video. So we're gonna go ahead and do so. Select file, upload. We got our Mega Man Marathon highlights. Boom. Drag and drop. So our video is uploading, and as it says, please keep this page open until it's done. The uploading process, depending on your internet speed, may or may not take very, very long. In this case, it's not going to take us too long because it's only like a 5-minute video, so it's not that bad. I already forgot till what day that I have stuff set to go till. So in this case, I have till the 20th. So you come up here, you can go to scheduled, and we're going to change this to the 21st, as I try to get a YouTube video out pretty much every day. And I like to have them come out at 8:30 in the morning. Uses my local time. And we want to add it to the playlist, the Mega Man Marathon playlist. So real simple there. I'm gonna show you guys another site, and when I export this stream actually into a YouTube video, I'll have links to all the sites and stuff that I use and all of that below here. So in this case, we're gonna go to I like this site, this Rapid Tags. I use the for free option, and what I'll do is I'll literally just take the title of my video, copy it, paste it here, and search it, and it's gonna give you a list of all of the most frequently searched like phrases and stuff relating to what you are creating. So what I do though is I also unclick a lot of these that have like the parentheses and stuff, and the reason for that is if you are exporting from Twitch for whatever reason directly into YouTube, which you can do, and I do that a lot of times for my playthroughs on games, because I don't want to have to just create a video just to do it when it's just going to be the same thing. It will, a lot of times it will fail to export from Twitch to YouTube if you do it that way. But by doing this, and then you want to look through them and make sure they're all like relatable. So Joe Rogan's probably not relatable to Mega Man Marathon, but the rest of it is good. Hit copy, come over here to your YouTube, go to tags, paste. So now we've got all the tags, and you can add others, like if you wanted to put Twitch, since we're exporting a Twitch thing on there, you can put any type of tags that you think would help people find your video. Description wise, in this case, here is a compilation of clips from our Mega Man Marathon. Catch me live at twitch.tv/Dan Carnett. And then if you have your Twitter tied to your YouTube as well, you can go ahead and hit this little button here for tweet and say, hey, you know what? This looks like a really good thing to say. Copy, paste, boom. So that's set to go. One thing that you'll want to do too is in advanced settings, if you are doing gaming related videos, which is pretty much what this whole stream has been about, you'll want to come in here under category gaming and put the name of your game. So in this case, we're just gonna put one of the Mega Mans that the clips were from. Mega Man 2 was one of them. A lot of times you may have to look through the list here on there. Oh, Mega Man 2, bam. I chose it because honestly, it's one of the more popular Mega Man games that people enjoy. So that is that as far as creating the video. Your video will be live. Here's your link if you want to check it out. Then you'll go ahead, and we've already set it to tie to one of our playlists. Go ahead and hit publish, and just like that, boom, our video is complete. It's going to still do its processing portion, which it doesn't matter because it's a future video. But if you had just put it up there and you wanted it live right now, when you uploaded it, you will have it, it will show up when people click on it as such, where it doesn't have like the thumbnail or anything, and that's because the video is still processing that information to highlight there. Now you can do a custom thumbnail where you can put a specific picture that you want to have for there, which I highly recommend doing. I personally am lazy, so I don't necessarily do that. But with that being said, does anybody have any other questions or anything like that as far as on how we created it utilizing Movavi? Like I said, I'm not an expert at this program by any means. I just do kind of some basic editing stuff that I've learned over the time that I've been actually creating content. It makes it really, really easy. Looks like... Well, if no further questions, guys, I think that'll actually call it for me. If you liked the video, since it's going to be on YouTube, go ahead and like, and please subscribe. I'm trying to get to the the YouTube partnership requirements. Actually, within the year, we've already surpassed the watch time of 400,000 minutes, but we're about 828 subscribers away from hitting the requirements for that. So if you do subscribe, quite honestly, if you've watched this far, that's great. I don't even care, honestly, if you watch a lot of the other ones, just click subscribe. Don't even watch, just pull it up. But if you do like random gaming content and seeing this random dude with some blue hair doing his thing, yeah, subscribe, and you can check out a lot of our fails and stuff. But with that, guys, thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll see you guys all next time. Have yourselves a great day.